we are joined by some very special veterans here that are going to tell us all about what's going on here in Oshkosh on Veterans Day, as well as kind of sharing their stories of their experiences as a service member as well. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to introduce George Gillis and Adam Alexander, here to tell us all about the wonderful things going on here in Oshkosh. So thank you, gentlemen, both for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yes, yes. And George, it feels like you were just here on Memorial Day. So
probably.
Not too long ago, yeah. So maybe before we get into what's going on Veterans Day in Oshkosh, you can first tell us, Adam, how Veterans Day began.
Originally, it was known as Armistice Day to celebrate the end of World War I. On November 11th, the 11th hour, they signed the armistice to end World War I. And then in about 1945, a veteran of World War II decided that it should commemorate other conflicts as well. So then it became Veterans Day, and it celebrates veterans of all eras and all conflicts.
Mm-hmm. So there's no specific branch or anything that
No.
we're focusing on Veterans Day,
No,
which is
anybody that served.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of times there's confusion between Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and sometimes even the 4th of July. So, George, maybe you can kind of ease some of that confusion, what the difference between Veterans and Memorial Day is.
Veterans Day honors the veterans that are alive and made it home from the war. Memorial Day honors the veterans that lost their lives in war, and that's the main difference.
Okay.
It really gets to a person, both of them. So
Definitely, those who have fallen and those who have come back.
Yep.
And, Memorial Day, it's a memorial. That's what it is. And so that's why when we have the Memorial Day procession, we call it a procession and not a parade.
and when veterans come back, they're usually not completely. They get injured and
Right.
they need help. So.
Definitely. And so we've got a Veterans Day ceremony happening at the Winnebago County Courthouse right here in Oshkosh on Veterans Day. George, tell us about that. Obviously, it's on Veterans Day, and that's November 11th.
November 11th, and it's going to be in front of the courthouse. Starts at 10:45, and then at 11 o'clock we face east. And I forget the reason why, but
We can find it on Google.
but the guest speaker this year is going to be Command Sergeant Major
Pete
Remy, and the Master of Ceremonies is Mike Hurt.
Our good friend Mike Hurt.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and tell us about Peter Running.
He was actually my Command Sergeant Major while I was in the Army. He joined the Army in the early to mid 80s, I want to say 83-ish. And he started out as a military policeman and rose up through the ranks as a MP and infantryman, and made it ultimately to Command Sergeant Major, which is the highest enlisted rank that you can get. And he became the Command Sergeant Major of USA CAPOC, which is the United States Civil Affairs Psychological Operations Command, and that I was a civil affairs specialist when I was in the Army, and so
Wow.
he was the top dog for my unit.
He was your boss.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got to be stuck with your boss again on
Right.
Veterans Day, right?
And the reason he can answer that better than me is because he was Army, I was Marine Corps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that was going to be my next question, because I wanted to get through the Veterans Day ceremony so that we would have a little bit of time that you each could tell us about your involvement and your experience. And I know before the show, I was like, I wish we had a 2-hour show to be able to go through this, because I bet you guys have so many stories. So maybe we'll do a little brief abbreviated version. And Adam, you can kind of start out and tell us what your story is.
Yeah, well, I was in the Army. I only was in the Army for about 5 years before I got wounded and medically retired. But I served one tour in Afghanistan with. I was part of a provincial reconstruction team. So my mission was to help identify and fund projects in Afghanistan to build the legitimacy of their government. So I wasn't kicking down doors or doing that kind of thing, but I still managed to get myself hit by a sniper.
God. Crazy.
Yeah.
And we're so thankful for everything that you've done.
I always tell people that they gave me a 5% chance to live when I was injured, but luckily I wasn't very good at math, so.
Luckily, right?
I like my chances.
Yeah, there's any chance is a good chance, right?
Right.
So, amazing. And like I said, I I got to get you guys back in here and get the full story and
Anytime.
document that. Very cool. And we saw a really cool picture that you had sent in as well of you while you were over there, and just amazing. And George, you served at a little bit of it, just a little sooner than
Yeah, I
Adam
was
did.
in Vietnam, 67, 68, and I got burnt over there. It's just, I don't know how to say it. And I was a mortarman. Yeah,
that young guy up there.
I was good looking back then.
Yeah, still are good looking, George. Yeah.
And made it back. Glad to be back. We weren't accepted very much when we came back, but we've learned to cope, and we've made sure that other veterans get recognized like we did. So
Exactly. And so you're both a part of the Disabled Americans Veterans.
and I enjoy tremendously putting my time in with the DAV.
Yeah.
I was commander of the local chapter for 5 years, and now I'm the district commander. So
So they keep you around, don't
yes,
they? Yeah.
and I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit of background about the organization. What is the overall goal of the DAV?
It's advocacy, service, and going to Congress and the government to help veterans get the benefits they deserve and need. We got to fight for everything that we want. And locally, we help veterans through the service of helping them get their benefits and doing what's appropriate.
Yeah, and I really think that the education aspect is very important. You mentioned there's a kind of an underappreciation, I think, and it's just really great that you guys are out there trying to educate the public and build awareness. You know, it's something that I think is an uncomfortable topic for a lot of people to talk about, and so it's just so important that you guys are out there trying to educate and inform.
As a charitable organization, 90% of the money that gets funded to the DAV goes to the veterans. So it's
You don't see that
the
often.
top one in, if you go on Charity Navigator, and it's the top one in the, for as far as dispersing the funds that comes to it.
Just amazing. And where can we find more information about the DAV?
Google.
Yeah, you guys have a website. I believe you're
There's
available
Google,
on the website.
YouTube,
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's information
and we
out
have
there
a
if you're
web
in-
page.
Yes. So if you want to get involved, you can find you
Right.
guys somewhere. You know, you
Yeah.
got a website. And once more, we're just about out of time, so I want to give once more the date and location of the Veterans Day ceremony. So we want everyone to come out and support and continue to support throughout the year. But when will the Veterans Day ceremony be taking place?
It'll be at the Oshkosh Courthouse in front of the steps, and it'll start at 10:45. All of organizations, veterans organizations will be represented there, and we look forward to the public coming and joining us.
Yes. Well, we will see you both out there. And once again, thank you both so very much for your service. It's wonderful to have you on. And I'm going to keep my promise. We're going to get you back on here for a little bit longer than a minute and a half per person.
Anytime.
All right. Well, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oshkosh Today was supported in part by the Friends of OCM. And Aurora Healthcare, 855 Northwest Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard. Oshkosh Today.